Good morning. Anybody got time for y'all mess today? We got to get in. We got to get out. Boom, boom. Hunch day. In, out. Hunch day. In, then get out. I am your host, Cletus Cassidy, man. This is See You in the Morning. My horrible idea to get up in the morning and give y'all a piece of me. Today is our favorite day of the week. It is Hunch day. That's right. It's Wednesday. A lot of people call it Hump day. And I just think humps are for camels. If you're a human, you're hunching. If you're a human, you're hunching. Humps are for camels. Hunching, that's what you want. And we try to get everybody to hunch before lunch. We try to get y'all to get it in before lunchtime. So that's it. If this is your first time hearing this, you're about to experience something so cold. If you are a returning member, man, thank you for coming back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. If I'm not sleeping with you, I'm speaking with you. It's the first thing I do every morning. I got doctor's appointments today, so I got to kind of get in and get out of this thing, man. So good morning to Trouble. She's got the bronze medal for being the third one to speak this morning. Good morning, Trouble. Silver medal goes to JD. Don't call me Martin Luther the King. And the Pride of North Carolina. The Pride of North Carolina is getting the gold medal today, according to Weston Murphy. Good morning. Good morning. The Pride of North Carolina is a finer woman, is what the members of her sorority would say. So good morning to her, and thank y'all so much for tuning in. Now, who else is here? We got double crystals this morning. Crystal Pennell and Crystal Sex Appeal. Good morning. Eartha Garrett's in the building. BB Betty Burnett. My man Elton is in the building. Good morning, Elton, man. Good seeing you. Actually, it really is, man. It's good seeing. That's my guy. That's just a good guy. Every now and again, you meet a guy that's just a good guy. That's just a good guy. Like, you would let him date all your sisters. I mean, he's got a wife, so you wouldn't let him date her now. But before that, you get what I'm saying. Good morning, Tanya, Katrina, Christina, Crystal Waters in the building. Dalisa, Franita, Roberta's here, so we got to be on our best behavior. Candace is in here. My girl Lakeisha. Good morning, Lakeisha. Good morning. And Kim Cat and Dolores is in the building. So yeah, today's Hunch Day. Now, yesterday we got real grown focus. Yesterday got real grown focus in here on a Tuesday. I don't know what was going through y'all system, man. Listen, Venus must be in whatever in its retro J's or whatever. It's crazy out here because y'all got real grown focus yesterday. Real grown focus. Like, I had to go and drink a bottle of holy water after dealing with y'all yesterday. Cause y'all was in y'all bag yesterday. I ain't even finna lie to you. Y'all was talking about threesomes and all kinds of stuff. So we in here today. We got it's Hunch Day. I don't even know if we can top what we had yesterday. And I'm supposed to be talking about a particular subject, and I forgot what it was. Marche, you remember everything I'm supposed to do. You the assistant director of the show. I was supposed to talk about something in particular. Good morning, la Barbara. La Barbara. We've been talking about these interpersonal relationships. We've been talking about people getting it in. We've been that's it. We've been talking about the friggy diggy moshiki. And so today we taking it to a whole nother level. BDSM. What are people talking about with this BDSM? We talked about yesterday people being afraid to talk out loud. People been afraid to talk out loud about their sexual desires, their sexual wants, their sexual needs. And we talked about people getting freaky. We like, guys sometimes want to be a little freakier than what they are, and they can't tell it. We talked about threesomes, whether you'll accept it or not accept it. Then today, BDSM. What is BDSM? What does BDSM mean? It's bondage and discipline, domination and submission. Bondage and discipline, domination and submission. It's not for me. It's not for me. I don't want no whips and chains. That's not for me. But there are so many levels of BDSM out there. Do you know there's actual BDSM coaches, people who sit down and talk to you? I was recently in Chicago. Recently did a show in Chicago. Met a young lady in Chicago. She was sitting at the show, sitting at the table by herself. I went over, talked to her. Hey, how you doing? I'm sitting around and just kind of waiting to get paid is what the reality was. And so I asked the young lady. She tells me that that's what she does for a living. She's a BDSM counselor. She helps people She helps people to participate in BDSM safely. To participate in it safely. There are levels to it. There are levels to it. There's different things that people want to do. That it's called. They call it being a sexual deviant. There's an actual test that you can take to see what kind of stuff you're into. If you ever go and look at it, it's out of control. My thing is, do people participate in that BDSM? Do they have better relationships? They've done studies that say 47% of women and 60% of men have fantasized about dominating someone sexually, while slightly more women and less men are aroused by the idea of being dominated. They found that out back in 2016. The same study also found that 47% of adults would like to participate in at least one non-traditional type of sexual activity. And 34% said they've done so at least once. Here's the crazy part. This study says, and this is in 2016, it says if you search the phrase BDSM on Google, it will return you with more than 500 million results. The phrase missionary sex returns about 163 million. So what they're saying is 3 times more of the people, 3 times more of the people is looking for the freaky deep than they are for the legs on the shoulders. Christina says it may not be as bad as you think. You gotta have safe words. You gotta be prepared to take the test. You take the test, they tell you whether you are a vanilla, which means you just like everything plain, or if you're going all the way to the extreme. They used to consider it almost a medical disorder if you got inside of it. But they say people like it. People say that people love it. What do? Ladies, you come in. Sharon said she can't even get in. Sharon said, everybody have a great day. I'll get out of this conversation. We're not going to talk about it in depth. We ain't going to sit and talk about it. I'm just asking, in relationships, because we would talk about communication, open and honesty. How do you handle your person coming to you and telling you that's something that they like? LaShuna says you got to have an open mind. How do you handle your person coming to you? Because so many of us are traditionalists and this is all that we do. What is the link, do you think, especially here in the South? Especially in the South. I'm in Chicago, big city, northern attitudes, different level of freedom. That same person was talking to me, and they said that they were poly. They love more than one person. Polyamorous. I went Porky Pig on that one. I was I live in an anemone. They said they were polyamorous, meaning that they love more than one person. And the way that they explained it almost made sense to me. She said her and her girlfriend were looking for husbands. Listen, and I was like, oh, okay, you talking about polygamy. They were like, no, polygamy is different. Polygamy is when a man is allowed to marry more than one woman. Polyamorous is when the woman can have more than one person. You can love more than one person. Poly is a lifestyle. She made it made so much sense. She was like, listen, me and my wife are together. We have our 2 incomes and we get a house. But if we each get husbands, now it's 4 incomes in the house, and we can do so much better in our incomes. And I was like, man, that makes sense. If everybody brings in, if now all of us or make it, let's just say $100,000. If I'm making $100,000, all I got is $100,000. But if I get a wife that's making $100,000, now it's $2,000 household. But if we both get spouses, now we are looking at a $400,000 household. We doing all right. We making good money out here. That's crazy. She said her and her girlfriend were both looking for husbands. There are families like that now, and they rotate. Let's just be honest with the people. Let's talk it out. We here. Has the traditional marriage, has the traditional definition of marriage been redefined? Marriage is out the window. I'm gonna tell you now. And if you hold on to it, and I know there's a lot of good Christian women in here, a lot of good Christian men watching this show, is it time that we realize that society has changed what marriage is? Marriage is no longer Jack and Jill going up a hill. Marriage now is multifaceted. Marriage is multifaceted now. Is it time? James says the whole image of marriage is changed now. Marriage is no longer, and listen, let me tell you something. You are still allowed to hold on to your beliefs for what marriage is. You can still believe that a marriage is one man, one woman, and that is a marriage. And you are allowed to believe that. But society has said marriage is now one man, one woman. Marriage is now one woman, one woman. Marriage is now one man, one man. Marriage is now one woman, two men. Marriage is now one man, two women, and a goat. It's a lot. Marriage now, spouses is like a hand of spades. Marriage is now like a hand of spades. You be like, you got a spouse, you be like, I got three and a possible. You're gonna have to go that route. You have three to possible. Make sure y'all sharing the show, man. Make sure y'all are sharing the show. Make sure you bringing other people in. It don't cost you no money to share the show. Just share. Just hit the share button. Pop, pop, pop. James says marriage is now what works for you. That's why it's unstable and broken. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna challenge you, James. Was marriage ever stable and fixed? Marriage is now what works for you. That's why it's unstable. Was marriage ever stable and fixed? I'm gonna throw it out there. I believe in man and woman, but times have changed. Definitely Eve, Steve, and Steve. Was marriage ever fixed? Because let me say something. And I love to throw it at the biblical purists. Biblical purists come out now. Biblical purists come out and be like, marriage should be a man and a woman. That's what God intended. And I'd be like, turn to Solomon. Turn to Solomon. Solomon is considered the wisest man in the Bible. Everybody talking about how smart Solomon is. Everybody talks about Solomon being just as smart. And Solomon had many wives. And we ain't talking about midgets. They weren't just real small wives. He had many wives. And they thought that was great. Solomon was the third king of Israel and is said to have had a harem that included 700 wives and 300 concubines. Y'all gotta understand what that man had. 700 wives. He was married to 700 and had 300 side chicks. Vanessa said, my parents were married 63 years with 14 children. Yes, they are the greatest. They great. They great. But I don't know. Granddaddy might have thought at some point, hey, man, whip it up. Solomon was crazy. Yeah, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's 1,000 women I have to deal with. I can't do it. I can't do it. I had trouble with one. How did Solomon have time to do anything but hunch? 1,000 women? Even if Solomon hunched 3 times, if Solomon hunched for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it still was gonna take him a whole year to get back to you. If Solomon hunched a different woman every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he'll see you again in a year. How did they stay satisfied? How did Solomon? I guess he had to take care of all of them. He was the king; he could afford it. And we changed marriage so much that it's now broken. If we take the biblical aspect out of it, same-sex marriages had the same parts flicking each other. That's crazy. Now, to me, I've never understood. This is just me. Can we be honest? This might be the show that gets me canceled, but I get it. I understand that love is love. I mean, you love who you love. You can't help who you love. If you a grown man, and you fall in love with another grown man, listen, let me tell y'all something. It's only a step away. Everybody always think everything is gay. It's only a step away from best friendom. Only thing that changes is that you done had sex with them. A lot of men and a lot of ladies, y'all is close to being in lesbian relationships or gay relationships with your friend. Some guys got that homeboy that they with 24 hours a day, every day of the week. They tight, they together all the time. That's almost a relationship. Y'all share secrets with each other. Y'all got special places y'all go. Y'all got everything jumping. They done did everything but put a ring on it. Oh man, that's just my boy, man. We together all the time. Some ladies, y'all don't want to hear it. I know you don't want to hear. I know you don't want to think of it that way. Some ladies are so close, especially lady relationships. Define a relationship. Maybe your feelings ain't the same, because your action. Y'all got inside jokes. Some ladies, y'all take it to the next level. Because ladies, most men, I'm going to be honest with you. If it ain't been a situation, life or death, I ain't none of my homeboys I seen naked. I ain't seen none of my homeboys naked. None of them. The most you might see is at a pool that might be a shirt off. Ladies, titties everywhere. Y'all don't even care. Y'all will share that room, titty each other up, feel them. Girl, let me get them straight. You not getting no arousal, no sensitivity. It's close. Best friendom is almost there. Now remember, everybody always talk about they want to date their best friend. That's who they want to be with. You close. She's not gay. Because you ain't having sex with her. You close. She's not getting next to him. T said she ain't never seen none of her friends naked. It ain't on TV. I've seen. Listen, y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all might not, but them ladies are quick. LJ said it too. Ladies is quick. Ladies, y'all are different than men. Y'all will fix a boob. Y'all will tuck them on in. Y'all will look at each other's hind parts. Girl, your cheeks is cheeking. Girl, your cheeks is cheeking. I see how you doing it. I was just in the show this weekend, and a young lady was showing the other young lady how to get her boobs up. And she was like, girl, you just got to lift them here. You tuck in here, pull this out. Y'all just like, and it's just a freedom. You ain't never had a young man show another young man how to get his sack right. Hey man, come here, dog. What you got to do is you got to adjust. See, look, your left is hanging lower than your right. Get both of these right here. Look at it. See, this is what you want. You want to be balanced. You know, you get them off like this, you walk funny. No, it's just life, right? Who makes the decision on what marriage is or is not? Who does? Who makes the decision on what marriage is? Marriage is so it depends on how you look at it, right? Marriage is if you Christian, if you have Christian beliefs, you believe that marriage is ordained by God, right? But if you don't have Christian beliefs, because listen, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people don't get it. Everybody does not have Christian beliefs. So who sets the standard for marriage? Even with Christian beliefs, I need me a good Christian to show me where we change from it's all right to have 700 wives to you can only have one. Who put us on a wife diet? Who put us on a wife diet? I'm asking. Mo says the people who are married determine what their marriage is and their marriage only. James said God said it and man broke it. And that's if you have Christian beliefs. If you or whatever belief. So I might be, and I don't want to put it on any other religion. I might be a certain religion that believes have five. We might believe God says every man should have 5 wives. I get it, James. I get what you're saying. So at this token, what we're saying is man and or woman sets the standard for what marriage is. Elder said this is an example of how society and culture dictate faith and religion contrary to popular belief. We gotta always look at when this stuff changed. I'm gonna hit y'all with something that y'all might not like. I'm gonna hit y'all with something that y'all might not like. Marsha said in the Bible, men had more wives. They had more wives in the Bible than we got now. I'm gonna hit y'all with something that y'all might not like. At one time, incest was the thing to do. At one point in time, incest was the thing to do. There was a point in time where your sister better not walk past you looking right. Tell you that right now. Tell you that right now. It was a time where if your sister came through, you was like, oh, come on here. We grew out of it. Society started to say, no, we ain't allowed to do it. You can't, except for in West Virginia, you can't sleep with your sister. A societal norm, right? We gotta really when are we gonna investigate and really sit down and think about what our thoughts are on sex, love, and marriage? I ain't sure how many wives Adam had. I can't say for a fact. I've only read of Adam having one wife, Yana. I'll give you that. Adam had one wife. But Adam had a whole lot of son dudes. Son, like that's a nephew and a son. So he had some son Drews and he he had some niesters. He got some son. He had some son fuse and some niesters. That's a nephew mixed with a son. And we take it outside of biblical. Take it outside of the biblical context. Yeah, he had some niesters. That was some niesters. That's a niece daughter. And these daughters, nobody, family reunions at Adam's house had to be crazy. When everybody came by, and I'm like, hey, this is your grandfather, uncle. This is your grandfather, uncle, cousin. You go speak to him. You stand at your grandfather, uncle, cousin's house. James said he likes the hoodie, man. The hoodie is made by James. If y'all can see his will clothing, you see his will is in the middle of his name is James. He put my name on it so I know who I am. It's got my name on it and everything. Appreciate you, James, for doing you. That shows you that I actually wear your stuff. Woo! Tam says sex, love, and marriage are not interchangeable. But are they, though? I believe you can have, if we want to be honest, if we want to be 100% honest, they're not interchangeable, but they're not all necessary at the same time. You say sex, love, and marriage is not interchangeable. So the belief system is that if you have marriage, you should be having love and sex. That's what they say. If you marry, you should be in love and you should be having sex. However, you can have sex and not need love nor marriage. And you can love somebody, not marry him, or have sex. Reality is you don't end up with all three all the time. There are marriages without sex, and there's marriages out here without love. They'll just say that's good because when we read about sexuality in the Bible, we reduce it to fornication. But that's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. That's all they talk about in marriage. All they talk about in church. I believe the church has fundamentally ruined the sexuality of a lot of people because they made it hard to be open and honest about sex in the church. Because the church, if you ain't talking about having missionary sex with your wife, the church don't want to talk about it. Church lost their mind because Dietrich Haddon's wife freaked them in a club. It's different. Marriage is simply the commitment to someone, mind, body, and soul, forsaking all others. For some, James, that's your marriage definition. It's some definitions of marriage is a business decision. Marriage is us deciding to be in the crib and we're going to work towards the same goal. Monique's marriage is different than anybody else's marriage I've ever seen in my life. Hold on, I got my breakfast on I was cooking at the same time. Y'all gonna have to watch a commercial while I go check on this breakfast stuff. Y'all hold on real quick while I go check on this breakfast stuff. I'll be right back. This episode of the Cletus Cassidy Show is brought to you by Ray's Ribs, Root Canals, and Rectal Exams. Be treated like a star at the 4R. Their owner, Ray, is dedicated to taking care of your entire person. From lip smacking, down home, delicious ribs to gentle, heartwarming rectal exams given with a mother's gentleness, Ray has you covered. Ray believes that just giving you delicious ribs isn't enough. Allow him to take care of you where they go in and where they come out. Right now, you can get Ray's 4R Rooter to the Tutor Special. That's 2 slabs of his slow-cooked ribs in any flavor, a dental exam, front sold separately, and a rectal exam for only $29.99. Ray's Ribs, Root Canals, and Rectal Exams. He's got you from front to back. There wasn't a moment in my life that I was really proud of. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that, but I did it. I did. I did put y'all on hold to do this. Here's the thing. I think that I'm gonna make a statement, and some people gonna get mad at me, and I might not get any more church gigs. Has the church ruined sex? Listen, if you actually go read the Bible, it's sex all up and in that thing. Oh, they be sexing. Oh, the church be the Bible? Man, the Bible is rated NC-17. Bible, it's nasty in there. Oh, they be getting it in. Oh, they sexes it up in there. They tell you everything you need to know. They will sex it up in the Bible. It's a whole chapter in there where a lady tells another lady how to get sexy. A lot of y'all been trying to figure out how to get sexy for a man. The Bible will tell you. A whole section in there that tells you, hey, ladies, you need to go. Johnny Gills, put on your red dress, slip on the high heels. That's biblical. Some of that sweet perfume, biblical. They've created such a childish relationship. Let me tell you something. They knew everybody. The Bible knew everybody knew somebody, and then you begat. That's why when people be like, do you know them? I be like, not biblically. They push so hard in the church against sex. People don't know what I will say this. People gonna get mad at me in church again. The church causes more divorce than anybody else. It's so many people that get married in the church just so they can hunch. People out here wanting to hunt so bad that they'll marry somebody just to get a piece of that sweet nookie. And then it don't work out, and now you divorced. You miserable because you done married somebody to get in the draws. Because your church told you you can't get no draws unless you married. Everybody else out here getting draws. They getting draws freely and willingly. And here you go. You better not get no draws unless you get married or you're going to burn in hell. So now they go out, marry somebody they don't even like just for that. You got gay people that's trying to keep their little gay job in church. Yeah, let's be honest. There's a lot of people out here, they real gay in the church. And they can't get married. They can't keep their job in church if they gay. So what they'll do is they'll just go find a young lady. She might be gay too. Hey man, look, we both got our gays, right? This church is bothering us. Let's go ahead and get married so that we can stay in church and keep our church jobs. Yeah. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. They call them a beard. You go get that lady so you can keep your church job. Because we're not properly teaching them that. This is what I tell you all the time. You be like, they always be trying to figure out why these kids be coming up pregnant all the time in the church. Because y'all don't give them no salt substitute. You don't know no sexual Mrs. Dash. You got to have sex. The church has made sex taboo. Listen, you should be playing taboo to get to the sex. Game night should turn to freaking. I got to get ready to go. I got an $8:15 appointment. Again, we can continue this again tomorrow. The church has ruined sex. You're supposed to be able to get out here. Everybody has urges. Sex, the church never offers you a sexual Mrs. Dash. When I started going to the doctor for this high blood pressure, right? And they told me no sodium. Get off that sodium. Leave that sodium alone. And my body had been having sodium all this time, and you have been craving sodium. And so when you go in, you say, well, how do I live now that I don't have any sodium? And they say, try Mrs. Dash. Try using hypertension, high blood pressure, whatever you want to call it, the sugar. When I went in and the doctor said, you got this sodium, get this sodium out your system. Use Mrs. Dash. Use more natural flavorings and stuff. So now I got a way to take out this sodium, not have the sodium, but still have my need met. And still have my needs met. The church wants you to cut everything cold turkey. Your body is going to want sex. I know blood pressure is not the sugars. Your body's going to want sex. Listen to the phone. Your body is calling. And the church is going to tell you that's sin. It's not sin. God made you to do it. God made you to be fruitful and multiply. God gave you these sexual urges, and the sex is all through the Bible. Ain't nothing wrong with sex. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And your body's going to want it. You keep telling your deacons never to get none. They won't even, the Bible won't even tell you. The Bible, y'all can't even find masturbation in the Bible. Y'all find it. Show me where it is. Tell me where Jesus was like, hey, cuz, you can't do it. All them disciples on the road with Jesus all the time, ain't none of them get horny the whole time. You can't tell me Peter want a beater. You can't tell me Peter want a beater. Peter was a beater. He had to be. The moments when Jesus was over to the side preaching, Peter went all over to the side, reaching. If they was married, when they see the wives, they was out traveling with Jesus. Do you get to take a few days off? Hey, Jesus, hey man, cuz I gotta get to the crib. I need to go know my wife. Man, shoot. It talks against, but it don't say it's a sin. They be like, hey man, don't be out there and make you go blind. Tamara said ain't nothing wrong with consensual and safe sex. Because remember, everybody you run into ain't living in a biblical standard. I know I'm going to have sex one day. I'm holding off. Marche, you would know that. You would be the one who knows May is masturbation month. I'm going to have sex one day. And I'm going to tell y'all what, when I do it, I'm going to enjoy myself. I tell you, one day I'm going to get me some. And when I do, it's going to be glorious. I can't wait. Tune in tomorrow where we talk more. We're going to finish this whole week out discussing sex. Ladies, what would you do if your man enjoyed masturbation more than he enjoyed you? Brian, I'm waiting on to do this the right way. I'm going to get me a nice little wife and settle down and get us a BDS room. What happens, ladies, if your man enjoys masturbation more than he enjoys you? Tam says, not possible. Could be. We're going to talk about it. Ladies, are you willing? Fellas, are you willing? The hand never says no. Ladies, gentlemen, are you willing to let your lady or let your man go Joe and find somebody to do all the things your man won't do? Fellas, are you willing? If you drawing a hard line in the sand, I'm not doing BDSM. I refuse to tie you up. I refuse to do this. Are you willing to let your lady go find it somewhere else? Is it selfish of you to deny your other person what they really want? We're going to talk deep on it tomorrow. We're going to get in there. Share it with a friend. Tell them ready to come in. We ain't finna be nasty. We finna be grown, though. We finna be grown. I see Princess knowing Dolores with triple nose. Jane said we ain't going that far. I'm not gonna let my wife find somebody to do the things that I want. All right, I gotta go. I really gotta go. I gotta be in the doctor in 15 minutes, and it's a 16-minute drive. See, there we go. Let's go. We talking about it tomorrow. I'm out of here, man. We be here tomorrow morning too. All right, I'm getting out of here before I'm late for this doctor's appointment and they try to charge me something. All right, I love y'all. I'm out. Two fingers to the wind.